What's up guys, Johnny here, welcome back. Today I got something new to check out for you guys. It's actually a product. If you guys are familiar with Gabby Chavez, aka Cannonball, he's a big time FPV racer. He's based out in Indianapolis. He's a professional race car driver. He's a team pilot for both Rotor Riot Hype Train as well as Catalyst Machineworks. And he came out with a brand new product, a brand new Cannonball motor, which I have right here ready to check out. So the really interesting thing about this particular motor, he reached out to me and said, would I want to take a look at it, provide feedback, let him know if I like it or I don't like it. That's all he asked for, which is really cool. So anyway, he sent these to me to check out. The really cool feature and why I said yes is he told me that he wanted to do something a little bit different when it comes to stator size. So there's been a lot of discussion about, is it better to go 2306, better to go 2207, what about 27.5 and blah, blah, blah these days. Those are kind of the two standard motor sizes that you see everybody running. These Cannonballs, they're 2406. And I just find that really, really fascinating. It made me really want to check it out and try it out. Before I started flying predominantly 2207s, I was actually flying 2405s a whole bunch, and I really liked the control feel with that, plus the efficiency over the 2207s. It made sense that 2306 was also a natural progression, but I feel like having a wider stator, as long as you can keep the weight under control, is going to provide you with a number of advantages, including efficiency over 2207. So that alone made it really promising and made me want to try these motors. Now, personally, I'm not really that concerned with, the overall weight and how much they weigh, although I will take my quad before and after and see what kind of a difference it makes on the quad. What I really want to see is how these things perform in the air. Now, I don't really like to go into the details of specs and of motors and discuss, here's how this, let me take the screw out and all that. The things that I care about is there a set screw versus an E-clip? Everything uses screws now, so that's good. I like to see that. If I look at the top, I see that there's some nice notches in there that should bite on the props, so I shouldn't get loose props. That's nice. I take a look at the bottom with the motors. I can see there's a lip underneath the magnets. That means they shouldn't slip out. That's nice. And I want to see a hollow shaft just because it makes for a stronger shaft, which tells me that'll be good for reliability on the shaft. That's mostly what I want to know. Everything into that, and also it is a 16 by 16 mounting pattern which matches the frames that I fly. That tells me it's going to be an easy install on all my builds. So the plan to actually check this thing out is really to get it out to the field and see how it does versus my tried and true staple, the Talon 1860 kV 2207 plus motors. I absolutely like those motors, and truth be told, I'm a little bit scared to try this thing. I really want to try it, but I'm kind of scared I'm going to like it. I don't want to like it, because I don't want to have to go through and change out my existing builds. But I'm going to give this thing an honest try. The plan is take one of my Floss 3.0 L builds. Right now I have 3 of them. They're all identical except for one thing. One of them has a Runcam Racer 2 Nano. The other 2 have Runcam Racer 2s. That's the only difference. I'm going to take one of those quads, put these on, take the Talons off, and I'm going to run those quads back to back to back to back, get some timing results and see what sort of a difference it makes. Discuss how I feel, but most importantly, take a look at those lap times. Am I faster at this? Am I flying longer? How's the efficiency look? That's stuff I can't wait to check out. One thing I should mention that is really, really interesting about these, they're actually 2020 kV. That's kind of high. The Talons that I usually fly, they're rated at 1860 kV. If you talk to Sean Ames, aka Heart of Mecca FPV, he says he tested the Talon motors and they actually come out closer to 1940 kV. So maybe 1940 to 2020 won't be that big of a difference. I guess we'll have to go see. The one thing I will mention about 2020 is while that may be slightly on the high side, I think having that wider stator with that increased efficiency make up for having the higher kV and the loss of efficiency you get from that. So it'll be really interesting to test. And then the other nice thing is because of 2020 kV, I feel like that may make this motor a good option for using a combination of both 6S batteries for maximum speed and 5S batteries for maximum efficiency. If you look at roughly 2000 kV, if you look at the 4S equivalency, that's about 2500 kV, which is a really fast 4S motor. So I'm going to try out both 6S and 5S batteries to see how I like them out there. Fly mostly 6S because that's what I fly currently, and just see how we do efficiency, lap times, etc. So let's get this thing on a quad, let's take it out to the field and see how she performs. Alright guys, we're out here at the field ready to try this out. We only got about an hour and a half or so of flying to get this done, but I got the brand new build right here, the Cannonball motors. We're going to put this back to back with my normal setup, see which one goes faster, see which one's more consistent. How do I like them? I put them both on the scale. Adding these motors added about 4 grams total to my weight. It weighs a lot more now than it used to, just the amount of dirt and stuff on here or something, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to get a battery on it, try it out, try this one first, and just go back and forth all day.
Bit high on the feeling, can't seem to focus. In the corner of my best friend's sofa, you were getting buzzed on rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to talk to you. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty other from the minute that I met you. Trying to get your attention, you make me nervous. In the corner of my best friend's sofa, you were getting buzzed on rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to talk to you. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty other from the minute that I met you. Met the other night, but I can't get you off my mind. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty other from the minute that I met you.
Alright guys, so that round of testing did not go so well for the Cannonball. I ran into a couple issues. First things first, these things are super responsive, super powerful. You notice a big difference compared to flying the Talons. So trying to go back and forth is just really difficult for me just because there was such a big change. And the thing is, you know they're fast, but I was having a hard time keeping it consistent is what I noticed. I had a fast lap out there. It was my fastest lap at the time. Flew the Talons right after that, had my fastest laps on the Talons. Then I spiked this thing in the ground and kind of destroyed it, so I had to rebuild it. And that ended the testing for that day. So anyway, after that, I switched over to just running the Talons back to back to back, improved my times considerably. So what I am today is I have a very short amount of time, about 45 minutes or so, so I have no timing system. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly the Cannonballs back to back to back to back, try to warm up to them, get used to their ability and how responsive they are, and then see if they go full speed around the course. I won't have timing with me here, but I'm going to go back home, look at the DVR, get approximate timing there, and compare DVR to DVR to get a good idea about how it's flying, and we'll learn from that about how they do. One thing that really frustrated me with these motors was the stock prop nuts. Just any slight little touch of the prop, it spun loose, and it's just super annoying. I spoke to Gabby about it. He told me that they changed out the prop nuts that they used after the ones that they had sent me. So that's no longer a problem. If you buy Cannonballs, you're not gonna have the same prop nuts. They've noticed that, they fixed it. So good to see from Gabby that they're working on it, fixing it, and making improvements. Anyway, I only have about 10 batteries. I only have about 45 minutes. So let's get this thing out on the course, see how she performs, and see if we get some better results for you. Let's go.
Lightning strikes by my window, hits my chest right in the morning, like a warning. Could have slept here for days. I felt your heartbeat, felt your mouth breathe, but it's not real. We were close to see the sun, but clouds got in our way, and
All right, guys, so real quick session there, about 45 minutes, only had about 10 batteries, is all I could do. We had a little bit of rain out here, a little bit of wind to start, but that's okay. Things felt so much better today than I did the other day. I think not going back and forth between the two quads really helped me out. One thing that was really amazing with these motors is every time they came down, these things were like cool as a cucumber. I've never felt motors that cool before in my life, and I was pushing it pretty hard out here, and that's stock Betaflight 4.1 tune. That was really good. I did have a couple issues of what I think were desyncs out there, so that may be a tuning issue, it may be some ESC settings. I've only ran this setup on my Talon motors, Betaflight 4.1 with BL Helier 32.7 in those settings, so maybe there's some tweaks I gotta make, I don't know. But it really didn't happen that often. It happened probably 3 times out here. One thing that was crystal clear is by swapping out those prop nuts, I had no more issues with the thing coming loose. That's clearly what that issue was, so that was good to see that solved. And I didn't crash too much today, so my consistency was okay. Not perfect, but they stood up to durability when I did hit things hard, so that was really good. So everything so far all encouraging. I can't wait to get home, get the DVR on the computer, put some times to it and see how I did. I don't think I was quite as fast as with the Talon motors, but I don't think I was far off either. So let's go home, let's check it out, let's put some times to it and compare side by side, Talon versus the Cannonballs. Let's go check it out.
You say you're fine, but I can see right through. You're holding your secrets for way too long. This can't keep going on. With every lie, they keep on hurting you, getting away with everything they do. This can't keep going on. No, we're gonna find them, and I'm gonna fight for you. They better start hiding. We'll be running with the lions, lions. We'll be running with the lions, lions. They can't run, they can't hide. We won't stop until they're down. We'll be running with the lions, lions.
Alright guys, here we are at day 3 Cannonball motor testing. We took a look at the results from the last time we flew. Things were definitely getting better. I was going faster on the track, but I wasn't able to put in the same sorts of times I was seeing with the Talon motors, at least not yet. And I think there's a few reasons why that's happening. But I'm out here day 3, I'm going to test it again and try some different things out. So one thing that I'm noticing with these motors is they are super responsive. There's a lot of power, a lot of torque behind these things. They also seem to be super efficient. They seem to stay really cool. I like a lot of things about them. I just can't be consistent around the course yet. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna play around with throttle curves, start at 60%, work my way up, try to get used to the way these things feel, and see if slowing them down a little bit is gonna help me to make them a little bit more consistent. Because I don't think I'm pushing them to where they need to be anyway, so pull them back a little bit, see if I help my consistency, and then start comparing those times. But yeah, let's check it out. I got a brand new course set up here. It's influenced from the last course you saw, but I moved a handful of the gates around, so it should be a new flow. It's a little bit more technical than the last one we were doing, so let's just go try it out and see how we do.
We've been acting out for days, nothing to deny. Blown up because it goes through the halls. You keep sleeping on the couch just to prove the point. I'm too proud to tell you when I'm wrong.
This is going to be a super interesting day of testing out here, guys. I don't know if you can tell, but there's winds gusting probably over 30 miles an hour out here. It's super tough to fly, especially at 60%, just having a real tough time, but we're going to keep at it. We got hours to go. It's the one day I have in the last few weeks to fly for hours, so I'm going to make the most of it and give it hell, and then we'll just see how they do and see what we can learn from it.
Match, babe, miss out on the good days. Breathe and we are catching fire. We're fighting for days, stuck in a phase. I think we're losing the reason. One word is all it takes, babe. Bursting out in cold flames. Breathing, we are catching fire. Thought that we were wiser. Go and light the match, babe. Miss out on the good days. Breathing, we are catching fire.
what I have definitely determined is that they're not going to be the new motors that I put on my personal racing quad. Now, that doesn't mean they're not a good choice for others, doesn't mean they're not a good choice motors. In fact, I really enjoyed this testing that we did. I think that the 2406 size motors can be really interesting, and we're actually going to see some other people start adopting that size. What really surprised me was that I only gave up about 1 gram per motor going from 2207 to 2406. I seemed to gain some responsiveness. I didn't seem to lose any sorts of efficiency. If anything, I might have gained a little bit of efficiency. They performed really well. Now, the way that they flew, I don't think matched my style quite right, and that's why what I always saw was as soon as I went to the Talon motors, I was always faster around the course. And that's the #1 metric I use across the board for everything I test. Am I faster when I fly it? And for me right now, that is the Talon motors. If I fly the Talon motors, that's as fast as I'm going to be right now on the course, until I find something else. So overall, very responsive, good looking quality, reasonable price, very efficient, doesn't give much in weight. I think they'll perform well, and I'll tell you that you could probably see it through my flying, which looked pretty good. I would feel very confident that I can go to a race and be competitive with those motors. I just can't be as fast as I can possibly be yet with those motors. So anyway, that was a pretty long video. I showed you a lot of trials. I really want to make sure I gave this thing a shot just because I was fascinated by the way they flew. I was fascinated by the stats, and yeah, it didn't end up working out, but I think there's a ton of potential there. I think it's going to work for a lot of people, and I'm really curious to see what the next incarnations of this sort of motor size come out with. I hear there might even be new versions of the Cannonballs. I'm definitely keep my eyes on it, see what's going on, and yeah, I recommend you keep your eyes on it. Maybe it works for you. And yeah, that's going to be it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you right there with that. Hopefully you found this review helpful. As always, let me know down below what you thought of this, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace!